At least there's a breeze. And it stopped raining. Oh, how wet is this table? Damn it, I chose the wrong side.
Why?
My hair.
Always with the hair.
It is. It's important. I might make you. I might make you switch. We'll see. That's fine.
We can switch.
I don't really care that much.
Okay.
I mean, big gust of wind comes, I might care, but whatever. So I was more used to showing off my tattoos, but they're low covered right now. So
I'll let her show off her thing she has because she's proud of it. Check it out. Look at it. Nice. Go get you one. Cincy hats. It's putting out some good tire these days.
They are. Hi, we're Joe and Lisa.
Welcome to Natty Talks.
Natty Talks. Yeah, this is their golf pull over, and they partnered with a local Cincinnati company also.
Oh, good.
To make these. Yeah.
Good.
I've seen a lot of people raving about the golf shirts, but I'm not a pullover person. I'm not the biggest fan. But this is actually like really good material, and it has like a good stretch to it, and it's well worth it. Thanks for the money to buy it.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Theoretically, I won the lottery today.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Yeah. I fight for that.
Yes. So today we're gonna do another life one.
I like when we do those.
I do too. I like it.
You're now starting to like it.
I'm starting to like it now. I used to hate it. Now
I
like it. I think now I just don't give a shit.
When did you ever?
I mean, I do give a shit about things.
Fair.
But for the overall, I don't, I don't give a shit usually.
Correct. Most of the time.
Yeah. So today. I'm glad you're smiling. I need it. After I just sat through an hour and 45 minutes of fucking traffic because some fucking jackass driving 40 tons of something down a road at 70 miles an hour decided to stop paying attention and just drive off the fucking road right into a wall.
I mean, that's the Lachlan split for you.
Hey, at that point, you get what you deserve. Like, you fucking idiot. Sorry. Back to...
It's okay.
Hour 45 minutes long of me sitting in a car by myself, I had to let it out.
I know.
If you know anybody who drives a semi-truck, for the love of God, tell them you love them. Maybe they might think.
Maybe.
They're giving out CDLs like hotcakes these days, and just bad.
So are you telling me I need to smile more so that you won't be angry?
Or something kicks in.
Fun times.
You're sitting in front of me. Who the fuck's texting me? Anyways, So today, we're going to talk about 10 ways you're making your anxiety worse.
Oof. Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of people aren't going to like it.
No, probably not.
So, we're then going to give 10 ways to fix it.
Because I slightly read through these, but not really, so.
And people probably won't like that either.
No.
And I honestly...
You get my raw reaction.
If you don't like what we're saying here, odds are you're probably doing it.
Yeah. Look at yourself in the mirror.
It's like when Dakota was talking on our videos and people were not enjoying what he was saying, or when I'm saying something and they don't like it, or like if they don't like hearing truth.
Right.
The truth should not hurt you. So if you're not enjoying something that is truthful, if the shoe fits, sorry, Cinderella.
You're Cinderella.
So 10 ways you're making your anxiety worse. Avoiding your problems.
Yeah, that'll definitely make it worse.
Yeah.
See,
the thing about it is that people don't realize in order to actually be a decent human being on this earth, you just don't wake up one day and suddenly you're like, I'm great.
That is not how it works.
No, no, it does not. You become a great person by making mistakes, by letting life and karma absolutely destroy you, by watching things that you love and cherish in this world just disappear.
Yep.
That's how you learn.
It's one way you learn, yeah.
So in order to get to that level of realizing like, oh shit, I got to do something here, even though I think I'm a good person, even though I think I act right, even though I don't think I have these behavioral traits, all you're doing is just not self-analyzing.
Right. Being a good person doesn't mean anything.
Like that one guy said, your public image has nothing to do with your integrity.
Mm-hmm.
It just clarifies it.
Yeah.
If your integrity is not there as a human being,
Mm-hmm.
your public image doesn't matter what you're putting out because it's not you.
Because if it's two different things and you're being two different people, either one online or one in person, how can I really trust you?
Right. Like,
because what you post on the internet, would you say that to my face? You would.
I would, but most people wouldn't.
Correct.
And I mean, you know, I have been on Instagram and Facebook and all that shit, but I never really, the only really like photos I have of me are from like the last year.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'll just float out in the world, dude. Like, check this out. Look at this cool leaf.
Right. Yeah, avoiding your problems is just going to create more.
Yes. If you avoid, this is the thing. It's not that you're being safe. Because on the other side of those problems, that if you just go through them, on the other side of that is what you should be and what you want to be and the person you want to be and what you want out of this life.
There's clarity, there's growth.
There's growth, there's clarity. But unless you go through the problems, you're never going to have that.
Correct.
This is 36 years of problems that I finally was like, you know what? Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me.
And he's not even at 99 yet.
Maybe it's me that is causing my problems. But since I won't face them, they're just going to keep coming back around.
Mm-hmm.
That's called learning your lesson.
Yeah, it is.
And for some reason, people just don't learn.
No.
You can be a highly educated person and still dumber than shit because like you literally have not grown as a human being.
All right, you can be mentally smart.
Yeah.
But emotionally and spiritually dumb.
Oh, goodness. And dude, if you don't believe in God yet, good luck. Good luck. Don't even care to say it. Good luck. And this is coming from somebody who would never say this 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
I would never look at somebody like, oh, you don't believe in God? Well, that's okay. That's usually what I would say. That's usually how I thought.
That's how some of our conversations went in the beginning.
Yeah. That's all right if you don't believe in God. You're on your journey. Mm-hmm. Which is true.
Yes.
But along the journey, if you don't start believing in something, mm-hmm. you believe in nothing.
Which is still something.
So guess what happens when you look in the mirror? You see nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I take that back. You do see something. You see all the bad things that you are, and that's why you don't want to look in the mirror.
True.
Which is why we said in the How to Be Happy video that we should redo.
Yes.
Look at yourself in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Tell yourself you're beautiful. Tell yourself you love yourself. Tell yourself you're intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
That should not be easy. That should not be hard. That should not be hard. You should be able to go look in the mirror at yourself and be like, damn, I love you, man. And for men, since we talk about men and women now, because we don't care about stupidity, men, look at yourself in the fucking mirror and tell yourself you're beautiful. That's not a very masculine word, I know. Wait till you tell it to yourself and actually feel it. Like, damn, I am a beautiful human being.
I mean, you could just say beautiful, handsome man.
Yes. You can tell yourself you're handsome. The thing about telling yourself you're beautiful is that you're going further than skin deep.
Sure.
Like,
I'll just look up other words for the word beautiful also.
Yeah. Say whatever the hell you want to say to yourself. But make sure it's positive and make sure that you are self-analyzing, because if you don't self-analyze, you're not even going to realize the problems you're not facing. You don't even know what problems you're avoiding. Because your problems that we're talking about are not out here.
Nope.
They're not over there.
They're internal.
They're not in Kentucky. They're internal.
Mm-hmm.
Those problems are the ones that you are avoiding. Those problems are going to ruin your life. Trust me. Trust me.
Ask Jonah how he knows.
As I said in the truck video, I've made a lot of bad decisions in my life.
A lot of dumb decisions.
But one of the best ones I ever made was self-analyzing and staring my problems in the face and saying, fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the best decisions I ever made as a human being.
Yeah.
Where do you think I would be
If you didn't start to...
if I did not do that 3 years ago?
You'd probably be in a really bad mental state. Actually, you probably wouldn't even be here.
No, I would not be here. See what I mean by it could ruin you? I wholeheartedly did not want to be on this earth anymore.
Yep.
If it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't be. That's fact. That is straight fact. And you know that, but they don't.
Yeah, no, they don't. They just like to assume things.
Yeah, they like to assume.
It's fine. Whatever.
You want to go fornicate in a bush or something like that? I guess everybody.
Why? Well, there's a porta potty behind us.
Perfect. We'll check that one off the box. I've never done that one.
It's metal too. It won't fall over.
This next one is one that I think is interesting because I don't know how I feel about it.
Okay.
The next one is your caffeine consumption.
Yeah, when I read that one, I was kind of like, to a degree.
Right. I didn't understand it when I first heard it because I was like, dude, I don't drink coffee. I water, right? But I notice when I have caffeine that my brain is operating at optimal level and I'm capable of thinking, and it's more of like mental energy.
Do they mean synthetic caffeine? Man-made caffeine?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Because you can get caffeine in other ways.
So this is why I thought about this.
Okay.
Because I read that and I went, hold up a minute. Like,
I mean, if you're consuming like 7 energy drinks a day, that's
right.
Not good.
Well,
7
you're
cups of coffee
asking
a
to have a
day.
heart attack at that point.
Right.
But
6 cans of pop a day. That's not.
no, that's not healthy.
No.
There are clean versions of caffeine that you can take. But then I thought about it and I went, okay, caffeine consumption. I think caffeine's a good thing. But then I realized why I think caffeine's a good thing.
In moderation, yes.
Not moderation. I took the human lens off and I put on the scientific lens. And I went, we're talking about anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Where does anxiety typically come from?
Your body's natural reaction.
Where does it stimulate?
In your brain.
In your brain. So the reason why you need to watch your caffeine consumption is because it's giving you energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's making you, like I said, I think better. Right. So it's doing something up here.
Mm-hmm.
If you have too much of it, and you've kind of seen me do this. If you have too much of it, it'll flat out hotwire your brain to where your thoughts just suddenly go like quickly, right? let's just say that poof, goes down the wrong road.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same with if you get a sugar rush.
So if you're amping up your energy and your brain function, and then you start taking it down the wrong road, and you start thinking the wrong things, and you start assuming the wrong things,
Yeah.
guess what happens?
Your brain's going to take off with it.
It's going to amplify everything.
Mm-hmm. And yes, I have seen your brain do that.
You have. You've seen my brain do that quite often, and I'm like, oh shit, my brain's gone, you know, like I'm, you know. Which, by the way, you know, I'm not a stoner.
No.
But this is where marijuana helps. For anybody that has like high functioning anxiety and like your brain is firing like crazy and you actually talk to yourself in your head and not just be an NPC.
Okay.
All of that is amplified, right? So the thoughts in your head are starting to go, and this is just a echo chamber in here. Mm-hmm. So then you start being like, oh my God.
Yep.
She looked at me. She loves me. That, you know, like, I don't know, fuck. But like, you start thinking things, and then you stop noticing things.
Mm-hmm.
Because your anxious thoughts that's driven by caffeine start taking you down the wrong road. And then
they start leading you to emotionally thinking instead of logically thinking.
Yeah, and then your perception of something changes.
Mm-hmm.
Your perception of whatever, like the way our perception of this city is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times you talk to people and they're like, oh, this city's dirty, this city's, and it's dangerous, and it's blah, blah, and I've never been out of Cincinnati. Would you do any of this in Detroit?
No.
No. Would you do any of this in Chicago?
No.
Fuck no.
No, my phone would get stolen.
So like your perception of your environment plays a key role in your happiness.
Yeah.
And if your caffeine is being it's too much, level. It's not good.
Yeah.
Not good. Like if you're just drinking fucking Red Bull all day.
You're gonna fuck up your kidneys.
You're gonna fuck up your kidneys, and you're gonna fuck up your brain.
And your liver.
And your liver.
And your heart.
And your heart.
Trust me, I know. I work for a medical device company.
Yeah, you will. Most definitely do that. You will fuck yourself up.
Our biggest clientele is the U.S.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
With all these intelligent human beings. Mm. The next one, which is where the caffeine consumption can really fuck you. It's procrastination.
Mm.
You see, there's what?
Go ahead.
There's this thing about procrastination. When you use it correctly, it can benefit you.
Mm-hmm.
But those ways of using it typically are not something that somebody's going to do. Like if you're mad at your job and you're a very hard worker, but you're very underpaid.
Mm-hmm.
If you're getting irritated because you're not getting noticed at work for all the hard work you're doing, just stop. Procrastinate.
Yeah.
Because then if they say something to you, you just say, well, you set the precedent of what you started paying me, so I'm working to that level. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
But procrastination is the killer of success.
Mm-hmm.
The absolute killer. If you wake up in the morning and you hit snooze over and over and over again, that is not being disciplined.
Laziness.
It's laziness, and God hates the lazy. And so does this world.
Mm-hmm. We live in a culture, and I don't think it's just Americans. I think it's all over. Bed rot is a thing. We're letting bedridness and bed rotness, like it's consuming our lives.
Yes.
Like I get it in days when like you're tired, like not tired, but when like you don't feel well, you need to rest. You need to listen to your body.
Yeah.
And that's okay. especially as you get older.
Right.
But you cannot live your life in your bed or a chair. You have to move your body. Plenty of people that you've seen in this video probably running by, moving.
Dude, just take a walk.
Mm-hmm.
I said this to Dakota. He was like, man, you're always walking. I'm like, take a walk with God, please. Do it.
Yeah.
Take a walk with God.
I made my sister walk a couple Sundays ago when she wasn't feeling well. It helped some.
I want to say something. I am not a religious person. I'm really not. I'm not. I don't go to church. But I am telling you, take a walk with God. Take a walk out in nature and just appreciate what's around you.
Exactly.
Or are you procrastinating? Like I've said many times, if you ask any successful human being on this earth, how did you get here? They're probably going to say, I was disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
So every time you hit snooze, every time you put something off till tomorrow, which turns into the next day, which turns into the next day, which turns into the next day.
Every single time you don't put a dish back in its proper place and you just leave it on the counter or leave it on the table.
Every time you say, oh, I'll just charge my car tomorrow morning.
I'll get gas tomorrow morning.
Taking time out of your day when you could be succeeding.
Mm-hmm.
These are not my rules, by the way. This is just general humanness.
Yeah.
If you haven't figured this out yet, you're behind. Not only that, when you have a routine down, if you're like regimen on your like, this is what I do, this is what I do, it's funny how life works better.
It does.
You have more time in your day. You feel better. Yep. You know, like this is when, like you have a better structure of your life.
You're right.
But if you're procrastinating and you're not setting yourself up for success, that only leaves you setting yourself up for failure.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what comes with failure? Anxiety. Yep. Go hand in hand.
They do.
And like you just said, our next one is no exercise.
Mm-hmm.
No exercise. If you are a biologically gifted human being and you're just a stick, but you're not exercising,
you have no muscle.
It's not even that. Because like a woman, you know, typically a woman's body doesn't have like, you know, big muscles or anything unless you're like jacked and working out the gym. But like, it's not that. All of this is interconnected.
Mm-hmm.
All of it. All of it is interconnected. And you know where it goes? Back to your brain. So if you're not working out, if you're not exercising,
your spine and then your brain.
Huh?
Your spine and then your brain.
Right, but like if you're not working out, you're not exercising, you're not making your systems run.
Mm-hmm.
Also, exercise is actually a great source of stress relief.
Yeah.
I'll even go further. Sex is also exercise. Like if you have sex, guess what? Look how much stress you relieve. Like,
did your Fitbit tell you that?
Nah, not that one.
Okay.
I don't have a Fitbit.
You don't have a Fitbit.
But exercise is a great stress relief, which means that you're lowering your anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say you're not exercising and you're not relieving your stress. You're just increasing your anxiety.
Yeah. Your body is going to start breaking down and atrophying also.
Yeah, it's to me this is common sense, so it's really hard for me to talk about this. But
well, it's common sense for you because you grew up an athlete, whereas someone like me, I did not grow up an athlete, and I did not realize how important like exercising is until my metabolism took a die at 25.
Mm-hmm.
I started, instead of like being active, I started working behind a desk.
Which a lot of people do.
Yes. So that made me realize that like that is important, because then I started noticing other health issues pop up.
Yeah.
And I realized I need to start taking care of that. I
Yeah.
need to start changing things I'm doing. I need to start exercising so that I'm not constantly tired.
Mm-hmm.
I can prevent breaking something.
Yeah. You're doing good. You're welcome for the gym membership.
Oh, thanks. Good to know.
You're welcome. I
won't tell you the price of the last one then.
Oh, I know. I know.
You shouldn't.
Why?
It's supposed to be a reoccurring, not a one-time.
It's reoccurring, so I know.
Oh, okay.
I know what it adds up to.
Glad you can do math.
I can do math.
You said I literally do not care.
Well, I don't care.
So you can't be getting pissy.
Oh,
at
I'm not.
me.
I'm getting busy with you. I was just saying you're welcome. And this next one goes with it, so I'm just going to jump into it because because it pains me when I am at the gym and I see people sitting on a fucking thing I want to use for like 25 minutes.
And they're pretty physically fit?
No, they're not physically fit.
Oh, okay.
Stop using so much tech fucking technology, dude. That one is very important, but it says overuse of technology.
Reword that one.
Overuse of technology. For the people who do know me, this should be really weighing on you pretty heavily because I'm telling you don't use technology so much.
Yeah.
Which we've said before, but the thing about it is this is what anxiety does.
That is just a device that steals joy.
It does. It's a thief of joy.
Mm-hmm. You're rewiring your brain.
Yes, you're just.
Mm-hmm. That's a hard habit I had to break.
I don't have it anymore. But look at your hands. If you have marks from using your phone on your fingers or something like that,
Oh, yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, that was a hard one I really had to, with my new job.
Right, well.
I had to untrain my brain to constantly be like checking.
Yes. Wait, you see me work.
Yeah.
Let's say this. Let's say that you work 24/7. Keep your work to that phone, look at it, say, okay, and put it back down and don't look at it again.
Mm-hmm.
Because I promise no matter what is said on there after work hours, it's just going to be there tomorrow.
Correct.
And what are you going to do at nighttime?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I had to learn that with one of my jobs, to not have work stuff on my phone. That's why it's really frustrating that we have all podcast stuff on my phone. But
we're getting ready to.
We're working on
We're expanding.
it. But yeah, it's like you hear a notification go off and it's work related. Why are you're not being, unless, even if you're being paid salary, you don't need to be looking at it.
No.
Unless you're on call.
Dude, ask all the people who are getting laid off how much they wish they had worked more.
Yeah.
Companies don't give a shit about you.
No.
They care about their bottom dollar. And if you're not a part of the good boys, the old boys club over there, the good old boys, they don't give a shit.
Correct.
So make sure you keep your technology usage to
as
minimum as possible. Now, I'm not saying don't talk to anyone.
Sometimes that's the only way you can communicate with somebody.
I'm not saying don't talk to anybody. I'm not saying like whatever. Make sure dude, this is an old habit that I feel like people have lost.
Calling people on the phone?
Calling people on the phone. I was having a conversation with some people the other day, and they were like, yeah, but I feel like some people are afraid to call people on the phone because they feel like they're bothering them or something like that. I'm like,
That's on them.
dude, that is in your head.
Yes.
Trust me, if you call somebody you haven't talked to in a while, guess what? They're probably gonna
appreciate it.
They're gonna be like, dude, what's going on? I haven't talked to you in forever.
I wish I called my grandparents more.
Yeah.
I wish I called Kayla more instead of just doing a whole Snapchat where you see only half my face.
Yeah. Right.
Those are like those small things that you regret in life.
Yes. Yes. Like, I mean, it's unfortunate that mostly everybody learns by losing something.
Losing somebody, yeah.
But I mean, that's just
it opens your eyes to things.
It does. It's also avoiding your problems.
Mm-hmm.
And your problems.
Yes. I think people forget that assuming makes an ass out of me and you.
Have people not heard that before? Or?
I don't know if people have.
Because how have you...
It's my favorite thing to use when people assume.
How could you assume something about somebody you don't even know?
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
I don't know this person, but I'm going to assume that they do this.
Mm-hmm.
You're making an ass out of yourself and that other person, because if you say that and some other person hears it and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe that person does this, then you're just starting a whole chain reaction that person doesn't even realize.
Exactly.
Until they're so buried in it that they're like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yep.
Yeah, it's like,
Stop being offended by everything.
First off, it's childish. Second off, stop being offended. Why are you why are you all a bunch of pussies, dude? Quit being so offended. Yeah. Like, seriously, dude, time out. Every single time you get offended, you are not making your opinion any stronger. All you're doing is showing the world how weak of a human being you are.
My favorite thing when I was driving down here was a conundrum that I saw. Person with a sticker on their car, it says Elon, and then it has a red symbol through it.
Yeah.
Guess what kind of car they're driving?
It's Tesla.
A fucking Tesla.
I hate to say it. I feel like people are doing that so people don't do something to their car.
I understand that, but
I honestly, dude, I don't see why people hate Elon Musk, because like
that just proves that you're living in fear because you're afraid someone's going to do something to your car. So you have to put a sticker on it so no one touches it. Mm-hmm. Newsflash, world's still going to happen. Yeah. Life's still going to happen. Yeah. People are still going to be dumb. Yeah. Your car is probably still going to get hit.
Tell me.
God bless it doesn't.
Maybe.
God willing.
Could happen.
But if you don't even believe in that,
well,
karma's going to hit you.
That sucks. So yeah, put the technology down, dude, because
because it is feeding your anxiety. And that is very true.
Because
plenty of times I've been on Bengals Twitter, see something, go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
The night that we lost the Super Bowl, I could not sleep. I didn't have anxiety, but I was just so upset. I just kept scrolling, seeing what everybody else was saying.
You know, actually,
I was so sad.
My favorite part about the whole thing,
if I just put the phone down, I would have been able to fall asleep and been fine.
I'm thankful that my sugar mom up in Michigan was down here. Yeah. She came down for the Super Bowl, and we stayed at the Netherlands Hotel. And I started my Super Bowl morning sitting down the river down here on one of the swings, staring at the river. She had her Starbucks. And we were just sitting there, and I'm like, this is the Super Bowl morning. And I'm down here, sunshine. It's a little cold, but I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And then, but I'm glad she was here because she kept me off of my phone. Good. So I didn't see any of that.
I mean, I watched it at a bar, so I really wasn't on my phone either. But like then driving home, hearing a little bit of the radio, and then getting home. It's the same thing when we signed Orlando Brown. I was about to go to bed, and then we signed him, and then I stayed for another 2 hours because I was like, I can't miss anything.
Dude, when they let go of Joe Mixon.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see it until about 11 o'clock at night, getting ready to go to bed.
I remember.
I see it on my phone, and I go, oh no! What the fuck is wrong with you? They let go of Joe Mixon!
But yeah, too much. There is too much out there in the world that our minds are meant to consume.
Yeah, like you're not using 100% of your brain. So if you're not using 100% of your brain, you're not really. I don't even know how much it is, but you're not using that much of it.
Correct.
For like the raw power that your brain can be.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not using your full capacity of your brain, but you're taking in a whole lot of information and data and all kinds of shit, it's going to overload your brain.
Yes.
And then if you're taking a lot of caffeine, and then if you're avoiding your problems, and then if you're procrastinating, and if you're not exercising,
and you're going to be overstimulated, you will shut down.
Yeah, that's usually how it works. I love people who think they are mentally resilient until they mentally break down.
Mm-hmm.
Those people are the ones I laugh at because I'm like, oh, now we're figuring it out.
Yeah.
Now we're getting it.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're getting it.
Hopefully, but some people don't. Some people just continue to live in a vicious cycle where they allow the negativity and evil and the chaos run their lives because they thrive on them.
Yeah,
which ultimately probably stems from some trauma.
Yeah, of course it does.
And they allow that to determine their worth.
What's worse is if somebody thinks that they're worth more than they actually are.
Then that's just prideful.
Egotistical.
Mm-hmm.
Which is also weak and insecure.
Yeah. It'll be it is people's downfall.
It is. It is. Especially if you're not doing these things and your anxiety takes off. Because the next one is my favorite.
Oh boy.
Poor diet. The reason why it's my favorite is because all this fucking bullshit that this country puts in its food that's
but also,
driving people insane anyways.
But also because you and I have been through it.
Yes. I might be physically fit. But when you're sitting in a hospital room and 7 doctors looking at you, I don't know.
That's terrifying.
Yes. Yes, it is. It is most definitely terrifying. Especially when you're not at home. Especially when you have to drive yourself to the emergency room. Especially when nobody is there. Especially when you can't call anyone because your phone's dead. No one knows where you're at. No one knows who you are. And you may die. That is what poor dieting can do to you. So imagine the anxiety of all of this.
Yeah.
And if you think you are eating healthy, like I thought, make sure that you're not consuming so much processed food.
Yep.
You can take a healthy diet and then just start adding all the nonsense. But it still be the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Imagine all of the things that you just said. Throw on patient abandonment on top of that.
Correct. Yeah, that's always fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's always fun.
That'll definitely give you anxiety.
Yeah.
It'll either give you anxiety so bad that you never go back to a doctor again, so then you live in a constant state of fear, or it catapults you into being a patient advocate for yourself and to better your life.
Mm-hmm. You really don't need a doctor to tell you how to live your life. It's actually really not that difficult. The only time you really should use a doctor is if like your arm's broken, like, or your wrist.
This is where you and I will disagree on some points, but yes.
Let's not go down that road.
No, we're not.
Because I agree with you there. But like seriously, if you're a living, breathing human being and you are at least I don't know. Honestly, if you're an athlete and you're 14 years old in high school playing sports, you should most definitely be paying attention to your diet.
Yeah.
Because if you do, you're going to outperform everyone who doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I just noticed the phone is shaking.
Who cares a shit?
I know.
But yeah, no, like the stuff that they put in our food, you have got to stay on top of eating healthy every time.
You do.
Because this is my diet. I basically consume large fruit smoothies. They're here. Large fruit smoothies and Chipotle.
Are the fruit smoothies with us right now?
I did not have mangoes today.
Okay.
No, I didn't. Sorry, I had to think about it for a second. No, I have not. We're professional. But yeah, so like that's my diet.
Smoothies
But
and
that's
Chipotle.
That's it. On a normal day. Now, when I go out to eat, like when we go over to Yard House here in a minute, and I'm gonna go get those beef noodles. Spicy.
Yes.
Noodles has the carbs that I need in order to keep my muscles intact because I don't procrastinate. So I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning every day and I go to kickboxing at 7, but I get there at 5 to make sure that I am ready to do what I need to do. So I eat a lot of carbs.
Mm-hmm.
And I make sure I have some type of protein. I have vegetables and starches. And that's pretty fundamental.
Yeah.
I very rarely have sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Although some natural sugar actually is, I would say, beneficial.
Yeah.
The reason why I say that is because if you have natural sugars, you'll notice your muscles growing and regenerating faster. Your body naturally turns things into sugars that do this.
I was going to say, I also notice whenever my allergies are somewhat starting to act up, I will eat a spoonful of honey.
Yeah, that'll work.
And that is a natural sugar. And that will help. You just have to get it locally and in the right season. Like I have honey.
Yeah,
I have
real
honey.
honey.
Yes, real honey. I have honey at home at the moment. At home right now, that is a fall honey, not a spring honey. So it didn't really help.
No.
It helped a little, but it didn't help a whole lot when I needed it in the spring.
You all should look up Manuka honey. I actually have a bottle of it that I can, I take it quite everywhere, and you can just squeeze it in your mouth and just take some, and all you need is a little bit.
I can't spell that, so type that out.
Manuka. Manuka honey. 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 Babe.
I didn't mean right now.
Oh.
I meant later.
But like,
So I can look it up.
Like, I don't want to harp on this one so hard.
No, but your diet is important because having a poor diet sent me to the hospital. So I get it.
It did me too.
And I didn't learn my lesson the first time, so I sent myself to the hospital 2 more times.
Right. So, well, the first time I thought it was, the doctor looked at me and he was like, "Hey, man, you run a lot?" I was like, "Yeah, I work out and run all the time." "How much you drink?" "We're not 21 anymore, bud."
Yeah.
Like the second time was the one that scared me because I wasn't drinking anymore.
Right.
And the next thing you know, I'm back where I was, and I was like, "What is going on here?"
Right.
That's when I figured out it was the diet. That's when I figured out the food was the problem.
Yes.
Not what I was eating. Well,
yes and no.
Not what I was consuming, but what I was eating.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was eating properly, but the food I was eating was not
right.
good.
Yeah.
So that's coming from somebody who is extremely athletic.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
My knee's still hurting from kicking my kickboxing instructor the wrong way today. Like, sorry, bro. I almost put him on his ass today. I actually was pretty excited about it.
I mean, walking down,
Yeah!
walking down the stairs is not fun, and I know walking back up those is not going to be fun either.
Actually, my knee is rather hurting me. Now, you've never heard me complain about physical pain.
But you struggle with stairs.
I did.
You struggle in general with stairs.
Yeah,
because of your knee.
My knees always hurt.
Mine is my thighs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to harp on it so much, but your diet is so important.
Yes.
If you live off of cheese and crackers, trust me, you're going to know what I'm talking about very soon. Like,
you live off McDonald's.
Oh God, please stop eating McDonald's. Oh, I want to say something, but I'm not going to say it on this video. Maybe you should look up what's inside those beef patties. But
I mean, KFC did a whole commercial, so.
I know. You should look into it. And until you find something shocking, you won't know what it is.
I really want a steak now.
All right, well, steak's on the menu. All right, this next one is a good one. Constant worrying. Worrying all the time about nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing that truly matters. Like, worrying about paying a bill is an acceptable worry.
Yeah.
But you know what you do to help your situation there? You become disciplined and you don't procrastinate and you take care of yourself and you work. And that doesn't mean that you work 5 jobs.
No, it just means you have self-discipline with your money.
Well, that too, but it's working in a way that is conducive for you to be a positive, happy human being.
Mm-hmm.
And also being able to pay your bills.
Yes.
I know people with one job who are utterly fucking miserable. I'm miserable that I don't have time to go to Great American Ballpark and work. I'm miserable. I texted my boss the other day and was like, dude, I'm so sorry. I'm so busy. I can't come in here. I miss you guys. Because I genuinely do. And I don't make shit over there. But I know at the end of the day, if I really came down to it, that would cover my bills.
Mm-hmm.
That is the type of worry that is acceptable, but there are ways around it. Really worrying, all you're doing is making your brain spin, which then all those negative thoughts that we were talking about, and if you have a lot of caffeine, and your brain goes the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
All that worrying is just going to cause even more stress and anxiety on top of a situation that probably you either A, can't control, or B, doesn't really matter.
And this is all scientific.
Yeah, like, does it really matter? No. No, it does not. You think it does. Because you're putting weight behind something that you think matters. When really, if you would just not, like, it's not like I don't have worries, but I just don't pay attention to them. I just know that they're there.
Correct.
But why would I fixate my brain on thinking about that one thing over here that really isn't mattering for something that's over here?
I agree.
That's not being present.
No.
Like, you're not being present in that moment. Your mind is going somewhere when someone who loves you and cares about you is standing right here, just wanting you just to love them.
Mm-hmm.
But you're over here.
Yep.
And what happens when you're over here for too long to this person?
Lot.
A lot happens to them. And guess what happens to them with you?
Disconnect.
They leave.
That too.
Dead weight. This is why you shouldn't worry so much.
Mhm.
This is also why you should communicate, because communicating is going to lower your anxiety and stress.
To stop myself yesterday from worrying, I literally texted you to confirm
Yeah.
if the thought that I was having was valid or if it was a lie.
Yeah.
Because deep down, I knew it wasn't true, but my brain was trying to tell me otherwise.
Right. So what are we talking about here? What was your brain doing?
Hot wiring.
Hot wiring, taking off. Was it increasing your anxiety?
Yep.
Yep. Did you text me and say, hey, tell me I'm a dumbass?
No.
No, you didn't. But never.
You did not text me that.
But what you were doing was you were not avoiding your problem.
Correct. I was not avoiding the emotion.
Right. You faced it head on,
Mhm.
and within a minute, because this next one is what I'm trying to drill into Pro's head so hard.
Okay. Let's not hurt ourselves.
I am a fucking man. Negative self-talk.
Just because you're a man does not mean you're invincible.
I know that, but a fucking piece of wood table is not going to hurt itself because I won't hurt myself. Negative self-talk. If you talk to yourself negatively, and not only if you talk to yourself negatively, but if you talk negatively, like out, you're saying it out loud. But dude, I hear my voice. I hear my voice.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what's happening? If you're talking negatively about anything, but especially yourself, it's doing this and going right back into your head, and your head's hearing it, and your head's like,
yep. You and I said this in the last episode. I used to say I hated my brain. I never understand it. It is the most confusing thing ever.
Now, I don't want to shy away from something. Self-analyzation comes with a lot of hard truths
Yes.
that you have been avoiding.
Yes.
That type of negative self-talk is worth it.
It is, because you say it, but then you put a but behind it and put a positive spin on it.
Yes.
I don't like how I feel at the moment, but I'm going to change that.
I don't like my behavior and how I treated another person. So I'm going to change that. Change.
That's a scary word.
For some people,
Not for everybody.
for weak-minded people,
Yes.
I don't like that I treated another human being that way and made them feel that way by my behavior. So I'm going to transform and evolve into a better human being.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't either A, do that to them again, or anyone around me.
I don't want to be the cause of someone's pain point in their life.
Yeah. I don't want to be somebody's trauma.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. It's very traumatic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you are utterly, deeply in love with somebody. And not in like an ownership way, but in a way of just, you like look at him and you're just like, God knew what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it all just disappears in a blink of an eye.
Mm-hmm.
That is traumatic.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah.
But if you're not capable of being honest with yourself,
Mm-hmm.
which is a hard truth,
Yes.
how are you ever supposed to be positive? Because then you're just lying to yourself.
Yeah.
You're lying to yourself. You don't like when people lie to you.
Why are you lying to yourself?
So why are you lying to yourself? mirror. Hi, Joe. I think I'm a good man. But I do these stupid fucking things. That's okay. I'm a good man. But, sometimes I like to do, but I'm a good man. Sometimes, though, no. I'm a good man, period. These harsh truths are not fun.
No.
But they are worth speaking to yourself about, because the only person that's ever going to hold you accountable is you. You should not rely on another person to hold you accountable.
Absolutely not.
So, and it's not somebody else's job to hold you accountable.
Nope.
So it's
unless you were a 2-year-old.
Right. If you don't take accountability for your actions, and you are not, you don't have maturity to.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I love to throw that at my sister whenever she throws a fit. I'm like, how old are you?
right.
She hates it.
How some, like, I'm not, and this is not about everybody, but like, there are a lot of people that I see, and I'm like, how are you acting this way, but you're your age?
Yeah.
What happened? What caused you to not grow up? What broke you?
Yeah.
And since you don't self-analyze.
That's the thing, because I'm a very observant person. Whenever I see somebody.
God, I hope we got that. You'll see.
Okay. Whenever I see somebody who is just clearly not themselves, my always first thought is, what is their root cause?
Right. Like,
what caused them to be the way that they are?
Right. Like, what caused this? I know what caused me to be me.
Right.
I identified it, and I transformed and evolved from it. And
Correct.
said, I'm okay. I figured this out. This is what this trauma was.
Yep.
I
mean, like I've said plenty of times, there's life and death in your tongue. So
yes, there is.
What you speak matters. Even just joking about stuff.
Yeah.
Why would you joke like that?
Right. I would consider myself a funny person.
Yeah, same.
I just don't joke anymore.
No.
About anything. I almost said something on here that I don't think I want to say.
No, then don't.
But like, because this is the thing. Like I noticed this with Dakota a lot. He's like when you were like, yeah, I caught a fish. It was 12 inches. Yeah. He's like, more like 3. And I'm like, dude,
he's missing the joke.
Right. He's joking about himself and his shortcomings.
Right. There's cynicism behind it.
But like, dude, if you don't talk about yourself so bad like that, even though you're joking. Like, it is funny to you.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Tell your brain that. Tell your subconscious that.
Yes.
That's why I don't ever speak negatively of myself.
Same.
Ever.
Like, I'll do it in somewhat of like a simple joking manner.
I won't. I used to, but I don't.
No, I don't much now anymore. But like, it was like when I broke my wrist. Like the reason why I fell is because these kids went in front of me. I got back up and got my balance. But then these kids went in front of me. Instead of falling forward on the children, I fell on my side because I've fallen on my ass before and I didn't want to deal with that. And everyone's like, oh, you should just like follow the kids. Why?
Yeah, you told me that. I went, what psycho told you that?
Many people said that. And I'm like, I get it. They're like trying to be funny, but my brain is like, why? Oh, their bones grow back faster. What if they don't? What if they have some type of disease and their bones are brittle?
Or what if you hurt them tremendously?
Or what if I hurt them tremendously? And then I have that on my conscience that I hurt a child. So it's stuff like that.
Oh.
It's also why I'm not a big fan of teasing. Like, I had that slightly happen over the weekend. Hold on, let me finish my point across.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Someone I know what they texted me was in a joking manner, but I didn't like it. They did it 2 weeks before, and I didn't like it either.
Yeah. I don't like when people.
But I just kind of let it go because I know that that's coming from a hurt place from them.
Yeah.
If it happens a third time, then I'll say something.
I don't know why people I don't know why people joke to someone else through text.
You can't tell tone.
No. Like, there are some things that I know if I said them to you on text,
yeah,
you would hate me. But like when we're talking, you're just like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, there's times where my hormones are all over the place, and you'll say something, and you have to preface it. I'm not coming at you.
Oh,
this is what I just noticed.
Yeah, I do this all the time. I'm like, I am not criticizing. I just noticed this, and I just want you to know.
Right.
It's not like I'm like, dude, I love this human right here. Like, it's not like when I tell her things, she knows I'm not telling her to put her down. I'm telling her like, hey.
But I'm a woman.
But she is a woman. She is a woman. I do keep that in mind.
Sometimes my brain wants to take it the other way.
Fellas.
Which we talked about in the last episode.
Just remember, she's still a woman. Not just her.
No.
But
yeah, if you're not on a good level with somebody and you joke with them in text and they cannot tell your tone,
yeah,
their brain is going to slightly take off
of it. Oh my goodness. This happened to me, and I got to talk about this. So this I was working with somebody in Nashville, and they left, and I didn't know this, but I had texted them in the morning and said, hey, why don't you go down there? Because I was trying to make them feel better. They were not doing well. I was like, hey, why don't you go downtown and like go to this place and eat and go get this my ex-girlfriend down there. Like I'll text her and she'll just, it's on me, you know, go do it. She texts me, it's like, I'm leaving, and I went, oh, what's going on, you know? And she's like, I just this job and this and this and this and whatever. And I was like, dude, I feel you. Mm-hmm. But I actually, my boss called me on a Saturday at like 10 o'clock in the morning, and he's like, stop texting her right now. And I'm like, hi, good morning, how are you? What the fuck are you doing calling me on a Saturday yelling at me, you know? Right. And he was like, quit texting him right now. You're doing that. And I'm like, what is going on? And to me and to him, I didn't say anything wrong at all. To her, I had basically said that she was crazy. How that came across, I don't know, still to this day, but to her, she thought I was calling her crazy, but really what I was saying was, trust me, I know this job is driving me crazy too.
Right.
And then I even sent her a gift afterwards, and it was like the funny, like, like I'm fucking losing it.
Yeah.
And like I thought we were having a decent conversation the whole time.
And it was misinterpreted. Misinterpreted?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or she was trying to get me fired because I was better than her, but that's okay. I didn't get fired.
We don't assume things.
I won in that situation.
This is the other thing, because there have been times that you and I have communicated and I thought we were on the same wavelength. So I've sent a text message and been like, yeah, that was right. And then I'll second guess myself, and then I'll be like, you meant this, right? We're on the same wavelength, which then causes confusion for you. So then we have to rehash the whole thing. And it's frustrating on both ends.
It does happen.
It does.
But well, for like today,
yeah,
we're starting to veer, but it's okay. Today, I openly told her, as calmly as possible, bruh, I have been sitting in traffic for an hour and 45 fucking minutes. I am not very happy right now. I'm quite pissed. So I don't know if we're going to film today.
I was like, okay, we could just go get dinner then.
Open and honest.
Yep.
And I was even open and honest about that. I said, dude, I'm going to be honest with you. If I sit here too long, I'm just going to want to go home. I did say that.
See, you did. And on my end, I was like, okay, that sucks. but I understand.
Yes.
That's not what I want, but I know that's what he needs.
Right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's keep going because I don't want to get veered off too far.
I don't either because I'm slightly cold and I'm hungry.
Yeah. We got a long way to go. This one actually is my favorite one. Perfectionism.
I did not struggle with that a lot, but I know that you did.
Oh boy, did I.
I had the opposite issue of being a people pleaser.
Everything had to be perfect. Everything. Everything had to be absolutely perfect. Until I realized I was neglecting myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're trying to make everything perfect, you're not realizing that you have no fucking control over any of this.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing you have control of is your brain and your actions. So, trying to be a perfectionist in anything will never allow you to go higher.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're trying to be a perfectionist, that means you're trying to stick within these realms of this box.
Mm-hmm. Correct. I will say I was somewhat of a perfectionist when it came to the start of this thing and wanting to make sure that I got everything right for the podcast and was posting everything correctly and putting it the way that you wanted it because I wanted it to be perfect.
Yeah. I know. I did too.
We just came at it from two angles. You came at it from a perfectionist aspect. I was coming at it as a people-pleasing perfectionist.
Yeah. And like what you're doing is you're just putting yourself in a box of complacency.
Yes, that's really close.
There's a thing right there. Complacency. And when you're putting yourself in a box, would you like to be in a cage all day?
No.
No. So let's say a piece of furniture in your house breaks. Or your washer leaks and you have to redo a wall.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Instead of getting angry, instead of being like, this is fucking bullshit and all this other stuff and yada, 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 and whatever. Why don't you look at me like, oh, this was perfect. But now that I'm not stuck in this box of complacency, I can go make it better.
Mm-hmm.
Now make yourself the soaking wet wall that ceased to exist.
Mm-hmm.
And say, damn, when they get this wall back up here and all this paint and all this shit that's going to be fucking cool, I'm going to be a badass wall.
Mm-hmm.
Make yourself the wall. Stop trying to be perfect because nothing is ever perfect.
Correct.
We are all flawed.
Yes, we are.
You know why? Because we're human. We're all flawed.
Yep.
You were flawed at birth. You know why? Because you were guaranteed death. You were flawed.
Correct.
You had an end date when you
You're
started.
Born into a broken world.
Yes. Look at this world. I know this is pretty out here, but my God.
Pretty, but it's cold.
It's starting to get a little cold. This next one is the real meaning of this. Because when you're trying to be perfect, that means you're overthinking. When you're overthinking, that means that your caffeine intake is going to start making your brain fucking do circles. And if you're overthinking, you're also avoiding your problems because you're not focusing on them. And then if you overuse technology, you're just hotwiring your brain even more, which also, since you're using technology, it probably means you're not exercising. And since you're not exercising, you're not giving your system, properly what it needs. And you're stressed. And then if you're eating like shit, then you're going to feel like shit.
Mm-hmm.
And if you deny me of this, I promise you, when I wake up every morning and I have worked out 7 days in a row and I have done kickboxing and I have driven 1,500 miles in 2 days, and I have partied a little. I guarantee you, I feel better than you, even with all of that. Guarantee it, if you don't have a good diet. And if you don't feel good physically. And this is all connected. How's your brain? Because then you start, worrying a lot. Constantly worrying. That's where the negative self-talk comes in. Starts eating you alive. And you don't even realize it. And all you're doing is being selfish to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are neglecting your mental health. You're giving up on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're neglecting yourself. That's the type of self-talk that sounds negative.
Mm-hmm.
But that's real. That's honest. That's the type of self-talk you should be doing to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I hate to say it, but I have seen some rather incredible human beings not do any of these things. Or, well, do all of this, actually. Do all of this. And be perfectly fine for a minute. For a while. For a year. And then finally that spot where they were ignoring their mental health just destroyed them.
Mm-hmm.
Destroyed a beautiful human being by their own hands.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they're avoiding their problems that aren't even big. That would take a simple communicated talk, which would then lower your worry, which would then make you softer so that when somebody says, hey, eat healthily, please. Take care of yourself. Be disciplined. It's not criticism.
Nope.
It's them trying to help you.
It's concern.
It's concern. But you're not going to realize that if you're not paying attention to your mental health, because if your mental health starts declining, your thoughts start declining, your performance starts declining, your everything starts declining.
Correct. You are correct.
Somewhere in that everything word, I'm pretty sure it probably spells out life. Somewhere in there. But like, dude, I have suffered and suffered and suffered for so fucking long with mental health that one day I just woke up and said, you know what? I'm going to quit being a pussy today. And this weak, insecure fucking person, get the fuck out of here. Because the only person living my life, I think, is me.
Yeah.
So why would I ignore myself and my own health? I'm in here.
That's a good question.
And, I'm just going to say it. We, as a whole in this country, are suffering so fucking bad from mental health that I can't believe that it hasn't been labeled as the modern pandemic. Like,
yeah,
COVID wasn't shit compared to mental health in this country. I mean, and I'm not saying it in a bad way, dude. I have seen some of my most favorite humans just Like that was my reaction is.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what the fuck am I supposed to tell you at this point?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
It's like, I'll go here. It's like watching a little puppy get hit by a fucking truck. It's just like,
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do.
No, there's not.
Just watch it. Watch the train wreck.
That's all you can do.
That's all you can do. And you're just like, fuck, man. That's the one thing I didn't want to happen for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing I was trying to keep you away from.
Right.
Because I have been there for far too long.
Right.
So I know what that is. And this is why I actually get very upset when people don't listen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wasn't just given wisdom.
No, wisdom is a gift.
No. This wisdom I have is from brutality
Correct.
of life.
Yes,
Like,
but I'm also saying wisdom is a gift.
it is, because you have to be given wisdom in order to have it. Because if you haven't learned your lessons, if you haven't self-analyzed, if you haven't looked at the things that have happened to you in life and wonder where was the blessing,
Mm-hmm.
then you won't have the wisdom.
Correct.
Because then you just will never achieve that. Because wisdom is knowing.
Yes.
So when I look at somebody and I'm like, oh, you'll find out. You'll find out. You'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Trust me, I've been there. I know what's happening for you.
Right.
Good luck. That's not a death sentence. That's a prophecy. I mean, like, that's like, here you go. Congratulations. Look what you won. Good job. Here's your prize.
Mm-hmm.
Ask me how I know. Because I lived there for way too long.
Yep.
That was earned. That was earned wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Earned. Painfully earned. Regretfully earned. Very earned. So if you can't tell, all of that's going to increase your anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
The good news is, we have ways to fix it. Bonus way, go check out Magic Mind.
Yeah.
Because, seriously, you want to talk about mental health and feeling good, and you just, overall, you're just in a better state.
Right.
You all need to go check out Magic Mind.
100%. And I noticed it helped my mental health tremendously.
It's helped me at work with my clarity and my judgment and my just overall energy. Not just like physical energy, but
and it has natural caffeine in it.
Yes, it does. It has natural caffeine in it, and it's a low dosage of caffeine. It's only 55.
Correct.
55 grams. It's not like physical energy either.
No.
It's mental energy. I'm just very
And it's a wellness shot. So yeah.
Yeah, I am just there. I am there. And like, seriously, I know we harp on this all the time, but if you want to help yourself, go check out Magic Mind.
Get you some Magic Mind.
You can get 20% off if you go to magicmind.com/Natty Talks.
Yes.
You get 20% off your orders.
Subscriptions,
sorry. Maybe.
You do.
Is it subscriptions? Great.
Yes.
So go get a subscription to Magic Mind, because then you can just have automatic orders and you don't have to worry about it. You just get what you want.
And if your company pays you to be healthy, it qualifies for HSA and FSA.
Which I think most of them do, so.
Most of them do, yep. I kind of wish I knew that at the beginning of the year when I started my new job and I put money towards it. I would have put more money towards it, and then I would be not paying it.
Right, see?
Out of my own pocket. I'd be paying it out of my company's pocket.
There you go. So, 20% off, magicmind.com/Natty Talks. go get you some goodness.
Yeah.
But here are ways to fix anxiety. And I will say that some of these I was like, okay. But I do know that this works.
There was only 9. I had to add one more.
Oh, was there 9?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I added one more.
Whoops.
That's okay.
The first one is, I know what the first one of that one was. The first one is reduce your caffeine intake. That's the one I'm like, oh.
You don't need to be drinking 6 cups of coffee.
This. If you have mental resilience, if you are emotionally intelligent, and if you know yourself, take caffeine. Because then you're capable of controlling your brain. Which, if you think you can control your brain, no, you can't. When you learn how to control your brain, caffeine's wonderful. Because then you know how to control your levels of emotion. Which, if you start going down the wrong road of thinking, and you start getting angry, and you start getting a negative feeling, you can pull yourself back and say, wait a minute, come back over here.
Correct.
That is where I would say caffeine's a good thing. But it's very difficult to get to that level of being a human.
Correct.
So I would just say reduce your caffeine.
Yeah.
We need caffeine. The first one is
I haven't had it
face your
today.
fears. And that's not like
No.
jumping off of a bridge.
That's not on the list.
I'm adding it. Face your fears.
Okay.
Because the more you face your fears, as in yourself, and what you fear becoming, which you just end up becoming because
Correct.
you end up down that road anyways.
Yes, you are correct.
Facing your fear, the more you face your fear, the more you don't have anxiety of doing things that cause you fear.
You become more confident in oneself.
Yes. Like, not everybody likes public speaking.
Nope.
I thrive in it.
Same.
I love it. It's an audience, and they're listening to me.
This is how I know I have high functioning anxiety, because if someone's like, hey, I need you to prepare a speech, I cannot write it beforehand. I have to do it on the spot. I just have to let the words come to me. That's how I'm such good at being a public speaker, is because it gives me that adrenaline kick that I need.
You know what? I'm going to back you up on that. So where I learned that I was good at this wasn't just college, and I was like, oh, other people don't like doing this, so I'm going to be good at it because that makes me better than everyone else. The first time I did this, and I realized I was like, yep, I am comfortable doing this, was my grandmother's funeral. I had typed it out the night before, because typically I like to just wing it, but I typed it out the night before because I knew I was going to be in an emotional state and I needed to make it through it. So I was like, but along the way of reading it, I did throw in stuff or do whatever. I even had a joke in there. I did. I miss my grandmother's mac and cheese. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But
Face your fears.
face your fears. It'll lower your anxiety by increasing it. Because then you just reach a threshold where you can handle it more and more.
Yep.
The next one is tackle a reasonable to-do list. And when I say reasonable, I don't mean like, oh, I got to put an entire roof on my house today.
No.
I don't mean like, I'm going to try to do these 5 things at my job because I think I can multitask all at once. I mean, take out the trash, clean the dishes, sweep the floor,
Brush your hair, do your teeth,
feed the pets, feed the kids,
make my bed.
make your bed. Those types of to-do lists.
Simple to-dos.
Just tackle one of those for a while. And then write down, fix the bathroom, change the oil in the car, get new furniture. Reasonable, but at a higher level.
Yes.
Because if you don't segregate it,
Yeah, if you don't segregate it.
what's going to happen is this list of reasonable to-do lists starts getting intertwined with this not so reasonable, and I haven't worked up to this level yet to-do lists. So then this one that's reasonable suddenly becomes very unreasonable for you to do. And then that list doesn't go anywhere, and guess what happens when you keep seeing the list?
Yep.
You increase your anxiety.
Yep. It's the problem with New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, get rid of those. Like, if you have to-do lists all over your house, and none of it ever gets done,
Sometimes that makes people's anxiety worse.
no shit. Just take the prison door and just slam it closed.
Like, some people need a list.
Like-
Some people need that order, but some people do not.
No. I don't need a to-do list. I'm not putting myself above anybody, but like I don't, the way I think,
Your brain already does that.
this is what my brain does. Compartmentalize.
Your brain already
This
does
are the
it.
things I need to do. Put that over here.
Right.
What am I doing right now?
Your brain already does it.
Yeah.
Your brain is a filing cabinet.
That's just how my brain works.
Yes.
But yeah. Reasonable to-do list and start out easy and just do it for a while. And once you get done doing that, you're already going to have a more difficult to-do list.
Yep.
It never goes away, guys. It's all just a circle. Once you realize that, you're like, oh yeah, this is just this part of the GTA I'm playing today.
Yeah.
Fucking kid flushed a damn toy down the toilet. Damn it. But see, if you don't do all these to-do list things, when the kid flushes the Tonka truck down the fucking toilet, that is a fucking disaster. Because all of these things are on the back of your mind and you're not doing any of it. And it's just making you more angry and more anxious. That's how it works. The next one is working out and exercising. We don't really need to go back into it, but as this guy right here, I don't know if you're going to see him running, but there he goes. Look at him running. The amount of ideas and things I have come up with while running or walking.
Yeah.
You think I do that sitting down?
No.
No. I actually hate this right now because I'm sitting down.
I know.
Hate it.
Yeah. I'm doing my best to stay on track and not distract you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Healthy coping mechanisms. Recognizing avoidant patterns. If you don't recognize avoidant patterns within yourself,
Correct.
and you don't have healthy coping mechanisms to deal with the things that you are not aware of, like what trauma has done to you in the past that you don't think matters.
Correct. Yeah.
If you're not handling things in a healthy way, that cycle is just going to keep doing this and keep doing this and keep doing this and keep doing this, and then you die.
Yep.
The keep doing this is life. Like that, this is your life. It's just this the whole time.
Correct.
That's all it is.
Correct.
Until you finally realize, like, oh shit, there's some avoidant fucking patterns I have here. I had better do this.
Right. Yeah.
I better transform and evolve into a better human being before I take my life and just keep doing this around the wheel and just keep dealing with all the stupidity that I'm doing to myself.
Exactly.
It can be done.
I know.
Look at us.
We're thriving.
How far we've came as human beings.
Or we've come.
Come, whatever. Eat right.
Yeah.
We went over that. I feel better
We did.
today than I ever have in my life as a 36-year-old male. I've never felt better.
And tomorrow you will feel even better.
Yeah. I have never felt better in my entire life. And I am so thankful for it.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Now read that full thing.
I was going to.
Okay.
Fully. Because this is the next part. Yes, I like that. Let it go fully.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I said letting go first.
Okay.
Is because you can think you've let things
You
go.
think you've let things go. Yep.
But your brain doesn't work like that.
No, it does not.
Your brain does this thing where it's like,
Your
I
brain
want to think about this one time I was happy.
Your brain wants to keep it on the loop.
I want to think about this one time that this was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I want to think about this one time I was loved.
Mm-hmm.
I want to think about this one time I was appreciated.
Right.
I want to think about this one time that I wasn't taken for granted. The thing about it is that all of this eventually is just going to turn into nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
Until you let it go fully.
Yep.
When you let it go fully, the nightmares just turn into highlight reels.
Mm-hmm.
This was a great portion of my life.
At one point, you forgot that they existed.
Mm-hmm. This was a good portion of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I am so thankful to God for this experience.
Mm-hmm.
Better one. You know?
Yeah.
Like, all right, well, that was a fun experience. Off to the next one.
Right. Yeah.
Saying that out loud is painful.
Mm-hmm.
Even for someone who has let it go.
Yes. It is.
So imagine if I hadn't let things go fully. Like, saying all these things out loud really, hurt me. So, like, and I've let things go. So,
Yes. But at one point, as your friend, I did worry about you that you hadn't fully let it go.
yeah,
And I was worried you were starting to go down a path that was not beneficial for you.
yeah. I hear you. I appreciate it. Yeah. Just sometimes you just gotta let it go.
I know.
Sometimes you can't just keep reaching your hand out, trying to pull them out of the inch of water they're drowning
No,
themselves
you have to let the rope go.
You
If
just-
you're hurting yourself.
in. You have to let it go.
Yep.
No matter how much it hurts.
Exactly.
Because if you don't let it go, all you're doing is hurting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not loving yourself.
No, it is not.
That is not respecting yourself.
No, it is not.
That's not caring about yourself.
No, it is not.
Be your authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
How much better does life feel just being yourself?
So much better.
Oh, thank God. I don't have to wear this mask.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to put out a facade. Although I never really,
I don't have to put a fake face on.
yeah, I never really did as much as some people do.
Right.
But I still did.
Yeah.
I just didn't realize it, you know. But
Mhm.
be your biggest supporter and fan.
Yep.
Literally, I am my biggest fan.
You have to be.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Do you think it's easy to get up on stage and play in front of thousands of people?
No.
It's absolutely not. Do you think it's scary to play in front of like 4?
Yeah.
Dude, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Utterly terrifying.
Just one.
One is something that I don't do with most people.
Correct.
I think I've only played guitar in front of one person a handful of times.
Mm-hmm.
Like in different settings. There are people who have known me my whole life and have never heard me play guitar and have never heard me sing.
Yep. But you're right. You have to be your biggest supporter and your biggest fan.
Baby, lock them doors and turn them lights down low. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like, no one's, like, there are people who have lived with me who never heard me sing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
Be your biggest fan and supporter.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you won't be, then who will be?
Exactly.
Get the help you deserve. Let me repeat that. Get the help that you, as a human being who is loved by someone, that you deserve.
Mm-hmm. I had to sometimes beat that into your head.
Yes, you did. Remember that you deserve a free life.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you do all of these things, you will not believe how great you will feel.
Correct.
At all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently getting ready to lose my job. Do I look like I give a shit?
No.
No.
Nope.
Why would you worry?
Exactly. No reason.
I'll straight up say this. And this might shock her. You want to know how you get rid of worry? Just believe in God. And be like, God is going to handle this. God is going to take care of it. Because if you don't say that, you have no faith.
Correct.
And for all the people who like be like, I don't know about this whole God thing. I've prayed and I didn't get shit. You wonder why? Prayer is just noise. If you actually don't have faith, it's noise. You can pray as hard as you want. But until you believe in and have faith in God Himself, you're just talking into the wind.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why most people don't believe in God, is because, well, I prayed and nothing happened.
Among other things, yeah.
Or I prayed and bad stuff happened to me. Well, you prayed. Sometimes you get what you pray for. And sometimes it's not easy to get there.
Nope.
Sometimes you got to go through some shit in order to get there.
Yep.
Like I said to Dakota, God may never give you your blessing if you never achieve the type of man He needs you to be in order to be able to handle that type of blessing.
Correct.
Because God will never give you a blessing that will be your curse. Ever.
Correct.
Because if He was to do that, you weren't the type of person that was capable of handling it.
Mm-hmm.
Your blessing. Sometimes you got to leave a job. Sometimes you got to leave a person.
Sometimes you have to completely start over.
Sometimes. But are you going to be the kind of person that stays in the same thing and just deals with the same shit? You're going to be the kind of person that looks at their life and is like, oh shit, I have nothing anymore. I fucking hate this.
Yeah.
And then just ravel in it?
Apparently.
Or you can be the kind of person that says, nah, fuck you, I'm winning anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck. Put whatever the fuck you want in front of me, I don't give a shit. If it's a brick wall, I'll just either fucking get a ladder or I'll go around it. That's the kind of person I'd rather be. I don't want to be this fucking person who revels in nonsense. I mean, like, why would you do that to yourself?
Mm-hmm.
God is the answer to most of your problems. I'm just letting you know. If you are so lost that you're just lost, all you have to do is ask God for help. And just do it. Just do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you care about yourself at all, and if you're looking at your life and you're like, I am not happy where I'm at, I don't like this, I want this to be better, this sucks, and you're not blaming other people, and you're holding yourself accountable for your actions, but you can't figure out how to get out of this, ask God for help. He'll get you out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, to beat anxiety, is love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you love yourself, you don't have to worry about the 10 things that make your anxiety worse.
Correct.
Because you're going to do the 10 things to fix it.
Yep.
Because you love yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's what it boils down to.
Yes. This is a form of loving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't do these things, you don't love yourself.
Correct.
Because you're not taking care of yourself.
Mm-hmm. Simple as that. Love yourself.
Yeah. You know why? Because love always wins.
Yes, it does.
It's Cincinnati against the world. And we're wearing the Cincy hat pullover.
I thought you said pull up for a second. I was like, whoa.
It's a cardigan, but thanks.